All right, so thanks for taking the time to meet with me.
No problem.
Again, I really appreciate it. So, like I said, I'm just kind of here to talk about a couple of the students that Pam had sent me that we'll both be working with, and then just kind of clear up, what's been going on. You have more information about them right now than I do, I think.
Sure.
So everything you say here is confidential. You are free to accept, renegotiate, or reject my role as a consultant at any time.
All right.
I'm sure you're aware, like anything that if there's a potential harm to a student or anything like that, that's the only time I have to break confidentiality. All right, I'm also here to help increase the skills and knowledge of you in order to improve problem solving with the student. Right now, you've been working with these kids, so I'm sure you have a fair amount of knowledge. Probably going to be helping me more than I'm helping you.
We are always open to more help, always.
Okay, so yeah, I talked a little bit earlier too about just right now we had those kids on our caseload, so kind of identifying what specifically some of their issues might be, and targets for intervention moving forward that I might be able to assist with there. Did you have any questions before moving forward? Okay. So there was a couple of students that I had already gotten levels on with the Easy CBM, Nicole, Kim, and Ariel. You talked with Pam much about them. Are any of them?
Right. They have all been sort of referred to us for our educational support team services, which is new this year. They currently do not have service like a Chapter 15 plan or anything of that nature. But they are definitely on our list of students who are struggling. Do you want to go one by one, or how do you want to?
Yeah, one by one. We can start with Ariel, because I remember he was ESL, correct?
Right. He receives ESL services, but I believe that over the years he has not really made progress. So I believe they were talking about a full eval.
Yeah, and his levels were pretty low when we did the testing initially. Has he been in the school district for a while now? Okay.
Yes.
And he was 8th grade?
He's in 8th grade now.
Okay. And so then most of his issues we think are related to language, or?
Language is part of it, but I believe looking into Ariel, he has really not, even though he has been receiving ESL services, he was, I believe he was born in the United States and has been receiving services for ESL for many years, and generally he should be making some progress beyond just the language.
Okay.
So we were trying to see about getting his, like a full eval. I know a lot of teachers have said he doesn't make growth when it comes to any of their, like any of the assessments. His growth hasn't really changed in many years.
Yeah, and I mean he seemed to be on task and trying his best with a lot of the stuff I was doing. So, all right.
I guess with Ariel, we're trying to see what is the language barrier and then what could be learning disability for him. We have students that receive ESL services that show more growth coming from not speaking English at all. Not, they will come with no English and they will show more growth. So that's why we're very concerned, because he hasn't, he at least has been in the country for many years. I mean, since birth, I believe. I'm not sure how much English. I don't think they speak English in the home, as far as I know. I don't think they do.
I was talking to him a little bit, and it didn't seem.
So.
Okay. So mostly trying to work on identifying, his issues beyond just the language there.
Right.
And then we got to move forward with the data collection there before we do anything. What about Cameron?
Cam, he has been receptive to some of our small group help as far as the educational support services, but he is one that does not really come down until he is struggling or until a teacher says he's struggling. So what we would like with Cam, at least now that he's been here a few times, would be having him come down for small group and sort of working with him more proactively than reactively. He has some discipline issues that also sort of is becoming a problem with being in the classroom.
Okay, what, just like defiance?
He skipped school. He's been caught skipping school. I think in the classroom, it kind of depends on the other students in there. I think he struggles a lot with reading especially, but I think as sort of an outlet, he will act out.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he doesn't want his peers to know that he's really struggling with the academics, so sort of to take off the attention from that, he will act out. Do you need any, we just finished our first 9 weeks. Do you need any grades, or do you need any progress on them as far as that goes, or do you have access to their
I think I had
grades?
Yes.
Okay.
Pam had sent me some things, and I know I saw grades on the one page.
Okay.
So I think I should have all of that, but thank you. So missing school and acting out, but you said he's been coming down for the small groups a little bit more?
A little bit. I think we would rather that he come more regularly, because what happens is he'll stay in the classroom and attempt the reading or whatever on his own, and then he doesn't do very well, and then we're looking at retakes and things. He came for a small group when he was significantly behind. When we first were able to provide educational support services to him, he was significantly behind, so we pulled him almost in a kind of like a remediation just to get him caught up. We had him down for a full day. With tests being read to him, he was very successful. He seems to know a lot of, specifically I was reading a test on Rikki Tikki Tavi for his English Language Arts class, and he knew a great deal of the story. His comprehension of the story was, but they did have it, they listened to the recording, they read the story multiple times, but when he tried the test on his own, he did very poorly. But when he came down and I read the test aloud to him, it was amazing to see.
So he was retaining everything.
He knew the answers, but I just think in the classroom and he was doing it online. I think it was just he kind of clicked through it real fast and didn't do well. And like I said, he's in with his peers and probably.
He doesn't want to show that he's struggling.
He did very well. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
I'm doing an interview with one of Cam's interns right now. Sure. Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So other than reading the test, what kind of stuff have you been doing with them in the small groups? Is it just more
mostly
practice?
A lot of reading. He actually hasn't been down all that much.
Okay.
We keep an eye on his grades weekly. We check in with his teachers. They said he's doing a little better, but he's going to you just have to keep on him about things.
So it's sort of up to him when he knows he can come down. And
right.
It's up to him
he knows it's available, but I think that having it be less of a choice for him sometimes. I guess we can offer a small group to him, but maybe a little more prompting and encouragement from his gen ed teachers, to take advantage of that, because he's not one that we see very regularly. And like I said, it's more like a reactive than proactive situation. It's he failed a test. Can you retake it with him? He needs to, he's behind. Can he make something up? He also was one that was supposed to be staying for our after-school assistance program, but it's inconsistent as far as his participation in that. And there are a large number of students that stay for that program and one teacher, so he's not getting a lot of one-on-one, even though he's there. When he is there, he'll, you know.
So he's still not getting a lot of support,
Right.
even though, okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was coming after school for a while. He's, like I said, had some discipline, so he bounces back between, you know, after school detention and after school assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So he is after school with a teacher quite often, but as you know, as far as how productive he is in those situations, I don't think he's making a lot of gains.
And is that
after
just
school.
mostly like more time for him to work on assignments at
Mhm.
school, and then the teacher's there if need be? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then Nicole.
Nicole has really shown up on our radar this year. She is struggling across the board in most classes. At the end of the first quarter, I believe she had some significantly low grades and I know in math she had a 70, which is, I mean, a D, and I'm sure that was probably, that's like as low as we will allow them to get is a 70, so that's the lowest D. So struggling in a lot of classes. Her attendance is, you know, for only being here for a quarter, she's already missed 12 days in school, and that's a lot. I mean, in 9 weeks to miss 12 days already, that's a lot. She has been referred to our SAP team for, I guess, some services, or to at least get permission to offer services. I'm not sure where that is right now. Our guidance counselor handles all of that.
Okay.
But there could be a lot more going on than just academics.
Yeah, I thought I saw something that she might have some stuff going on at home.
Right. So we did have Mom in for a meeting. She agreed to having her stay after for after school assistance. So she is one that also comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I know her math teacher, Miss Jones, is also very involved in tutoring with her, but she struggles a lot, especially, I mean, math. She's another one that we wish we would see more for testing, small group testing, instead of, you know, after she has failed something, we'd rather her come down for tests to be read aloud.
Okay.
Even with an open book test, she does receive, I know our science teacher has given her some of the adapted tests, and on the adapted test it has the reduced number of choices, it has page numbers, it's open book. She still will fail those, even with adapted materials. Even when you read the test aloud to her, she struggles with any sort of textbook skills to find the answers, even when allowed to use a textbook.
So like indexing or searching for headings.
Right. Right. Even with, I mean, you could tell her this is on, the answer is somewhere on this page, here's the question, she still will struggle to find answers. So. And
now, so is this, I mean, more recently, has this been coming for a while? Do you think it might be more related to the home issues than?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
Okay.
I think the attendance, I think the attendance issues really, you know, really have impeded her ability. It has impeded her ability to stay caught up in classes, to know what's going on day in and day out. I have her in my classes for family, because I teach family consumer science every other day. So our class only meets every other day, and she's absent. So, you know, we move on to other concepts, and I am still having to pull her and try to, you know, reteach and remediate.
It's a lot to go back over.
Because, you know, we just don't have as many days, so you just don't see as much repetition in a class like this as you might in an everyday class. So she's struggling to stay caught up because of attendance.
So attendance is the big thing, and then sort of her literary skills.
And I think you had easy CBM data on her already, right?
Yes.
So.
Yep, she was another one.
Probably see
yeah, she
where
struggled.
She's struggling and is not here very often. Well, has missed 12 days.
Gotcha. So that just compounds things that she was already struggling with. Okay. So a lot of really good information for me. I'm going to be continuing to collect data on them. I think I have progress monitoring with them coming up. And then, so I'll talk with Pam as far as, what we want to do moving forward. And I'm sure you'll be really involved with everything. But this has been very informative for me. I should probably talk about student strengths for each of them too.
Okay.
So for Ariel.
Okay, going back to Ariel. Ariel he's great in the classroom. He will smile at you. You definitely have to check with him for understanding, because I'm not. Sometimes when I had him last year, I wasn't sure. He's always very pleasant. He's very receptive to any help that you want to give him.
Mm-hmm.
He's cooperative with anything you ever ask him to do. He works well with others in small groups. If you need him to partner up, he has no trouble finding somebody to work with. In our class, last year we did our cooking labs, and he did really well in the kitchen, with everything he had to do as far as interacting with the groups, following directions. Very successful with the hands-on tasks.
Right.
Just really pleasant student
to
have.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice kid.
Yes,
He was talking
quiet,
to me.
but
Yeah, right.
Sure.
And like you said, with the understanding, like there was definitely a little bit of a barrier.
Right, you
with some of the
you
things.
have to really
Mm-hmm.
double check to make sure. And reword, I would find myself rewording everything anyways, multiple different ways, just to make sure. Camden I don't have for class yet. I won't have until second semester, but in small group, Camden is wonderful. It's a very stark contrast to what the classroom teachers say. One-on-one, he's quiet, but he aims to please. He seems very receptive to help. If you read something to him, he's very successful. He also seems to respond very positively to the positive, because I think he's getting so much negative in his classes that when you can pull him one-on-one, I think he likes it. He's rather quiet, but he aims to please. He works very hard. He stays on task. He struggles, I think, more in a classroom situation. One-on-one, he said when we had him pulled in one-on-one, he made up a lot of work. He was on task. He actually worked all the way until 7th period and asked if he could please go to his gym class, because he just very polite, but you could tell he worked hard and he needed an outlet, and he advocated for himself and just said, hey, can I please go to my gym class? I would really love to go to my gym class, and I'd really love for you to go to gym too, because I can tell you've worked hard. And but he was great one-on-one. Nicole, she's a very sweet girl. I worry about her because she is so quiet. It's difficult to kind of get her to open up.
She did seem the most shy.
Yeah, kind of withdrawn, quiet. So as far as strengths go, she seems to she'll partner up with some students as well. She'll stay on task in the classroom as long as she has someone to help her. As far as that goes, she's not defiant in any way. She will definitely take any help she can get, whether it's from up here or from a teacher. So there's really no trouble getting her to work as long as you can help her.
Gotcha.
She's one that will kind of sit and sit idly until you come over to her.
Hey, do you need?
Right.
Gotcha.
So but once you can help her, she's happy to receive.
All right. I think that should be good for me. Like I said, I'll do some more progress monitoring on them as far as their scores, and then talk with Pam, and then I think a couple of them are getting approved for eval. So